Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi, Eileen. Hello, beautiful, my beautiful sister. How is everyone today? Y'all, to be honest with you, it's a little warm here. Oh, my goodness. It's a lot warm here. So, how was everyone's weekend? What's going on? And be sure to put in the comments what you're working on. Definitely going to have to be turning my head to the side today because that big dollar sign is up there and it's cutting off everything in my chats. But it's okay. First of all, you all know I am your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. And welcome to Create and Relate. Come on in the den. We are here on Takeoff Tuesday, guys. Our list today is long. We're not going to do the television trivia because just about every alphabet is full, and we have a lot to discuss. First of all, happy end of March. And I'm going to go ahead on and say happy April Fool's Day, being that I will not see you all on tomorrow. Um, I'm excited. I do have quite a few things to share with you today, as I said. So we're going to start with all aboard. Welcome. Welcome. We are at 530 subscribers and 2,320.5 viewing hours. Guys, that is 679.5 viewing hours to go. That's not that far away. That is not that far away at all. Reminding you of the podversary that's coming up. The actual date is the 27th, but we'll be celebrating it on the 25th, which is on a Saturday. And I got lots of scrumptiousness in the works for you all. Okay, so we have taken care of the letter A, and now we're going on to the letter B. I am looking, I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. I refuse to let things get to me. Last night, I kept trying. To be honest with you, I dozed off, and I know you would prefer I get my sleep. When I got up this morning, I realized that I had not planned the itinerary for today. So I focused on getting that done. And so you can see what we have. We have one, two, and a little bit of the page done. And on top of that, I went to the store twice. I already made my coffee. First of all, let me stick with the letter B. I had my breakfast, which was a banana, a banana. Or I also have, hi, Lori. How are you, my twin and stitches? I also have my double Folgers black silks. Today we have caramel macchiato, our favorite creamer of choice for right now. So I do have that. Um, and my choice of drink. Ta-da! Ta-and And Joe, that's just a little bit of the busy. I had to clean my little desk off here. I had my therapy session this morning. I got all of my March ball bands together, with the exception of one. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. With the exception of one, it kind of fell, but I caught it. It's okay that I carry one over. But this is for March. When I pull the stack out, it's like this thick, and that's only from October of last year. So I'm really excited about that because sometimes I get in this mode where I think I'm not doing enough. I'm not crocheting enough. And y'all, I love you all so much. BB, how are you? My grandson is being very cool. Double, yes, double black silk. Hi, BB. Hi, Lori, Joan, Lena, and Vivian. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so um, I feel like I'm not doing enough sometimes. And when I pull those ball bands out and I look at them and I'm like, wow. If you think halfway through the month, I frogged my sisterhood blanket completely and restarted it on the 18th. Is it completed? No, it's not. But we're going to talk about that in a moment as well. So we went through A, B, C, and D, and now on to E, which is exciting news. Guys, starting yesterday, my Meals on Wheels did start. So I know that between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, yesterday it was like 12:20. So if y'all hear me say, excuse me, I'll be right back, it's because I got to run to the door and get the meal. But they drop it off so fast and it's quick. So that should only take a moment. Okay. And the other exciting news, I did have a therapy session today. Guys, I think I might have turned my therapist on to Bridgerton. Bridgerton. If you all have Netflix, most of you know already. Hi, BB. Hello, BB. I am. But a lot of you know about Bridgerton. I started watching it when it first came out. I was very taken by it. Um, but then I wouldn't allow myself to get back into it because I was starting to get frustrated with Netflix. And they hit me with what I thought they were going to hit me with. My bill went from $12.99 to $22.99. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. But my daughter, my sweet, loving daughter, knows that one of my favorite shows is Supernatural. I can get the whole thing on Netflix. No skips, no pushbacks, no shorts, all of that good stuff. And I also love The Walking Dead. I'm a big fan of horror, and I can get all of the Walking Dead franchise on Netflix. So she says, here's what I'm going to do. You can only have it on 2 devices. So I'm going to get it on my phone, and I'm going to get it on. Y'all can see stuff behind me. She said, I'm going to get it on my phone. I'm going to put it on your TV. So, yes. And the first thing I pulled up was Bridgerton. Love, love. 3 days, I binged all of Bridgerton and The Queen. There's a third one that's supposed to be out there with it. I have to look it up and find out what it is. But trust me, I will get to that too. Okay, so now we're on to F, which is finished, focus, and future. What have I finished? So last night when I had to take a break from the Stitcher because I thought I was going crazy, I came up with this beautiful piece here, and I named it the Chesapeake Triangle because of the triangles in it. And I thought about the Bermuda Triangle. It's a bucket hat. It is one of the challenges on Take a Challenge or Challenge Wednesday, which I follow Juan's challenges. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But I will give you that list over again when we get to that part. But this is the bucket hat. And of course, I showed you the other day where I had done the scrap cakes, where I had made, I think it was 5 scrap cakes that I made. Um, so I did the scrap cakes and I did the bucket hat. That is all that I have finished. Now, what is my focus? My focus, of course, is this baby. I don't want you to think that Sister Girl has not been working on this. I will not open it all the way. But y'all, from beginning to where we stopped. So I have done a massive amount on this blanket. So of course we know that that is definitely the focus. Is that what I'm working on right now? No, because I don't want to run the risk of knocking the camera over. So I pulled this out. I'm starting on my actually third Stitcher Hood blanket. And this is going to be the start of it. I know what I have in mind for it. It is going to be basically a granny square with a little bit of tweaking here and there. But yeah, that's going to be the next one. And being that it is as simple as the granny square, I didn't have a problem starting this right now. So that is also going to be a focus. The squares that I had of the 100 squares, I want to focus on getting 25 of those completed this month as well. I'm telling you my plans for the month instead of the week. I watched The Queen and I didn't like it. Not one bit. Wow. And I absolutely loved it because of her dedication to him. Knowing that I won't get into it in case someone else wants to see it. But because of the loyalty and dedication, and then knowing, how that's how things were back then as far as planned nuptials, you know. So yeah, for that purpose, looking deeper into it is why I fell in love with it. Um, yeah, I want to do 25 of those squares and go ahead on and get those connected. The last thing that I'll be working on with that, I think you remember I gave myself until like June 8th, I believe, to complete that project. I have to look it up. Okay, I gave myself until June 10th. I gave myself until June 10th to complete that project. See why this comes in handy? You go back to this and find out everything you need to know. I did write down um, a quick pattern for myself for my Chesapeake triangle. So, and I got down here completed. Your girl is trying. I am working on it, guys. I am. I'm proud of myself. I also plan to finish the Stitcher Hood blanket, the first one. I am going to put some work in on the second one. It's so close to done. I would rather get at least halfway through this one before I jump on that one because it's just a matter of adding double crochet, chain, chain, double crochet, chain, chain, all the way around until the end on that one. So that one will go really, really fast when I do that. I'm looking at probably 3 days max. And being that we have 3 months to do it, I'd rather put the focus in this. Like every time I need to do something to take my mind off, pick it up, put a few rounds on this, put it up, and come back to it. And that way I'll have 2 going at all times, and that part will be done. Okay, I also plan to finish or put together, because I have finished the squares for the February blanket. I just need to put them together. And then the March squares, I have a few squares that still need to be finished. And I'm going to finish those and get that together for this month. If you remember, I told you we're not doing squares for the month of April. I feel like, as for me especially, I need time to catch up on what I have. Still losing words. But the focus is more on completing and getting things in order. It's not just organizing things around me, it's organizing me as well. And I had to play around with it for a while to see what worked best for me. I tried putting everything aside except one project, knowing that my mental will get bored in a heartbeat. I have your moon coming, sis. I do. I did record that video this morning. I just have to see. I like to try to do the edit portion and send it out first. And if that doesn't work, then I have to go back to the raw and just send it out raw. So between the time we get off of here and late, maybe a few hours, because it'll have to be when I come back from getting the kids. So I'll say between now and maybe 7 o'clock my time, that should be out to you. Okay. Um, this month I also want to make the Bernie scarf, which is one of the challenges. But I'm just going to do like the thin spring or Sophie scarf, they call it, or the little spring scarf. I'm going to do that instead. Complete 25 baby beanies. I have 10 done, so 15 more. Like I said, they're really, really quick. So I know that I'll be able to get those done. I also want to design 5 squares this month and put out 4 more tutorials. I will continue to put the tutorials out. I just won't be doing 2 at a time. What I'm going to do is give you one a week. Now I know this week I owe you 2. I owe you the moon, and there's going to be another one that I put out as well. Um, and then for the future, I want to finish this purse. That's what I mean by setting myself up. I know what this is. I know where it's going. I know, I have all the specs on it, everything. And now I'm not at a position where I'm starting. It's not something that was um, on the coals to hurry up and get done. But I'm not, like I said, at a starting point either. I'm at a point where I know that this scheme will make the entire bag, including attaching the handles. So that's what I mean by setting myself up. And when I stopped to make this, I know that also another palette cleanser. I have 14 more. And it did not take long to do this at all. I could work those up in no time. I just want to be productive. That is what I really want to do more than anything. I want to be productive. Okay. So the other focus that I have, I said completing the pot purse, is to make a scrap basket, which is one of the challenges. I put it on focus because I have not started it yet, but it is one of the things that I want to focus on getting done before next Wednesday and not tomorrow. Every other week, Juan does challenge on Wednesday, and then on the other weeks, he does the let's chat stitches. Okay, now on to letter G. Letter G, we have my message to you about giving yourself grace. Sometimes, and this is meshing so well with what I wanted to talk to you about the past 3 times, I used to fall in line with everybody else and say from time to time, I needed to find myself. I needed to find myself. And it came to me a couple of weeks ago. No, I don't. For 2 reasons. I'm right here. Number one, but if I ever find that I think I'm looking for, then to me, that's the same as being satisfied. And I'm not going to look any further. And I don't want to be satisfied. I want to continue to push forward. When I reach this goal, I want there to be another goal in place or another desired goal in place. And a goal after that, and a goal after that, and a goal after that. That's what I need to keep me pushing. So along with that, what I need to learn is that if I don't reach this goal within the time constraint, I have to give myself grace. And that's what I wanted to leave with you all today. Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up. I was looking at Rose Elise. I think it's Rose Elise, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's Elise, but I was looking at her channel a few days ago where she said she stopped making Christmas gifts, making handmade Christmas gifts because it got to be too much. I don't know how much she had on her plate. I know that that's something that I enjoy doing. But what I do last Christmas, I already made a list of what I wanted to do for this Christmas. And I have a certain number of what can go on that list. If I have any blankets on that list, I usually have a list of 20 people. If I have a blanket on that list, that cuts my list down to 15. If I have two blankets, it cuts it down to 10. And I try to keep away from the larger projects. I usually do things like slippers and the washcloths and the coaster sets for households and ornaments. Those types of things are what I usually do for Christmas because, like I said, the bigger the project, the more time it's going to take. And I have not only do I have a channel to run, I have people who are commissioning me to do things for them as well. So I don't want to get myself tied up in that. But I also let people know, hey, if it's my gift to them, they don't know about it. It would be just me beating myself up. But if it's something someone asks for, someone asked me for a blanket, because I have the channel now, I tell them that I need at least 60 days. Before the channel, I would tell them I needed 30 days. But there's a lot, you have to govern things according to what's going on in your life and be fair to yourself. Be fair. But at the same time, if you don't make those marks, be graceful, be gracious with yourself because you're human. You're human. You're not going to make every mark. As hard as you try, you're not going to make every mark. But don't beat yourself up because of it. Okay? I told you that. And then the other part of the G is groups. I am with the Stitcherhood family. Lori reached out to me and asked me about being on panel with them in May. So I will let you know as I know, and I'm sure Lori will let me know as she knows, and we will be passing that information along to you. So you can jump on in and see what's going on there. Man, don't let just me being there stop you from going over checking out what it's all about. Anytime you see Stitcherhood come across your screen, just drop in and see what it's all about. Give them at least a few minutes and check it out. Maybe something that interests you, or it may inspire you to do something for a charity in your area. So check it out. You know that I also do the challenges on Wednesdays with Juan. This Wednesday coming up is the Let's Chat Stitches. I highly recommend that for everybody. I don't care how long you've been crocheting. He gives very valuable information. He does talk about stitches, the construction of stitches, how to read patterns, a lot of the abbreviations. And you're allowed to ask questions, and he answers them to the best of his ability. And it's really, I have learned some things, and I've been crocheting for 57 years. I've learned a lot having a channel and dipping in and out of other channels. And it's fun. Well, I love to learn anyway, but it's so much fun to me. And it fascinates me that as much as we think we know, there's so much more out there. There's so much more out there. So a reminder of the challenges that were presented last Wednesday. One is make scrap cakes, which I completed that. Another is a bucket hat, which I completed that. And you have the Bernie scarf, which I'm going to do. You have the scrappy basket, which I'm going to do. And you have the amigurumi, which I'm not going to do. I'm not. Oh yes, I'm not going to do the amigurumi. Now, if I do, I'm going to try not to be adamant about it, and I'll say if I do it, it's going to be something really tiny, like a peel. I'll make it look like a capsule or something. I'm not doing a normal size. No, I'm not. So what else do we have under G? Of course, Michelle is going to grace us of Yes, Michelle Crochets. Um, is going to grace us with going live. And guys, if you know Michelle, you know that that is not her comfort zone, but it's just like a crochet session. She's still putting her videos out during the week to teach us about all the steals and deals, to teach us about little palette cleansers, 12-week plans, those types of things. And there are many, many, many other channels. There are a lot of birthdays going on, a lot of potversaries happening. Um, just check them out. We need to support each other. We do. We really do. We need to support each other. Okay. I important notices. I didn't write anything down under important notices, except for the fact that I'm here. I skipped one. Y'all let me skip H, which is probably the most important one. Happy Meal, I didn't get any this week, and that's fine. That's fine. Hauls, I have not purchased any yarn this week, y'all. I have not purchased any yarn this week. And then the healthometer. My mood is, I came into this with my mood being at about an 11. And my health is pretty good today. I'm sure you heard all the running around I've already done today. So all of that is on the up and up. And like I said, I did not write anything down under I, important notices, but I do have a J, a joke of the day. This is where y'all get to chime in and tell me before I tell you. So, why did the stadium get so hot after the game? And Lori just talked about a stadium this morning. Can y'all tell me? Why did the stadium get so hot after the game? Joan said all the people. See if somebody else is going to chime in. You're headed in the right direction. I can say that. Okay, so why did the stadium get so hot after the game? No, because all the fans left. Sorry. I thought that was too cute. I thought that was too cute. Exactly. All the fans left. Yes. Okay, so we got through the letter J, and I think we did good. So now we move on to K, and we have the crochet with Kitty. I'm shooting starting tomorrow being Wednesday on doing a crochet with Kitty video on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So anytime during the day on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm hoping to drop one of those videos. There may or may not be talking. Joan, there may or may not be talking. Sometimes I'm in very much a chatterbox mood, and sometimes I just want to crochet with somebody. Do I go back and look at my own crochet with Kitty videos? Yes, I do. It makes me feel like I'm actually sitting down and crocheting with somebody. And I don't like to hear me talk, so I turn the volume down. I do. I turn the volume down. I'm one who does not like the sound of their own voice, but I love to talk. Go figure. Okay, light reminders, the letter L. Light reminders. Um, we're going to convince Joan a little harder, but I want everybody to remember to keep up with your journals. Keep up with your journals. And if it's your first time, 10 little entries, 10 sounds like a lot when you think about it. Your mood in the morning, your mood before you go to bed at night. How you feeling in the morning, how you feel when you go to bed at night, meaning body-wise, health-wise. Put two people on that list that you want to get in contact with that you normally don't talk to, say, within a monthly period. And then write down three things that you want to accomplish for the day. And at the end of the day, write a little small paragraph, at least a couple of sentences of how your day went. See, that's not a lot. You can write down mood and put two lines beside it so you know AM, PM. You can write down health, same thing, two lines, AM, PM. That's four right there. And then over to the side, write two people that you want to either send a text to, ask about, call and just say hi, leave a voice message, anything. And write a letter to, send an email, reach out through Facebook. However, just hi, you crossed my mind and I just wanted to reach out and say hi. Doesn't have to be a long conversation. I know we have lives and we're busy. I get that. But I'm just saying, just reach out to someone that you have not heard. Why do I say that? Because people are forgetting how to people. We're forgetting how to people. And we have become so busy with this thing out here that has offered to make our lives easier. We're so engrossed in the electronic era that we busy ourselves with that when initially it was designed to make life easier for us. And in that whole process, we're forgetting how to people. A lot of us, even in our own homes. So reach out to somebody in the crochet community that you haven't seen in a long time. Hey, just popped in to say hi. Hi, I miss you, whatever, anything, anything. So the other light reminder, don't forget to spend 30 minutes a day organizing. I am way past 30 minutes a day. I get up in the morning and I try to get my head straight first. So we do 15 minutes there at least. I go in the kitchen and I organize things before I even start washing dishes or whatever. I'll organize the counter, put things aside, push this here, push this back there, put the sauces back on the shelf and those types of things. Around my scooter where the kids play, bless their hearts, the toys that go under the scooter. I try to move the scooter and get the toys out of the way so I don't run over them. Those types of things. Just it doesn't have to be the yarn. Just things in your life, little things. As we become seasoned, sometimes, and even especially those of us who are handicapped, sometimes we feel like we can't do, and often it's the little things. I was looking on YouTube where they were saying how you can break the chores of the bathroom down. They have a chore journal for people who have ADHD. And it breaks down things like in the bathroom, um, clean the vanity, and then the next day you would clean the shower, the next day the toilet, the next day the mirror, the next day you would sweep the floor. And that way you're breaking it up into little things. You choose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for each one and do little 2 or 3 minute items in each one. And before you know it, you have a cycle of cleaning where you've only spent maybe 15 minutes all day doing it, you know. So, excuse me. So, if that interests you, I'll look into it further and see if I can find and drop the link for you where you can find that. I'm pretty sure it's probably on Amazon, but like I said, I will definitely look that up for you. The other gentle reminder is what I said in the journal: reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. If you're like me, there are two people that pop in my brain all the time, and one of them, thank you. One of them is my what do you call him? My holistic medicine man. Um, he does a lot of plant based items like eating string beans raw, using the grass and things that grow from our yard um, for medicinal purposes. Um, he had a juice that he created. I was having, when I was working at the hotel, I would have problems with kidney stones back to back to back to back to back. And those juices were so good. It was so hard. It was so hard to just like, no, I can't drink two and three of them. So I would, go ahead on and get my juices for the month from him. And they were in like 16-ounce bottles. You're only supposed to drink 8 ounces at a time. Yeah, you're only supposed to drink 8 ounces at a time, but I would drink the whole 16. I couldn't drink two or three of them, so. But yeah, and he wrote a post on Facebook one time that I very much disagreed with, because he wrote it from the perspective of a man and not a woman. He talks a lot about gut health, and he's a very straightforward person. So I didn't agree with him. And instead of disagreeing with him on Facebook, I went to his shop and I told him, I said, for a man, that might work. But for a female, that's not going to work. And he said, how so? If you're eating the proper foods, it should only take 4 squares of toilet paper to clean yourself. I'm like, for a woman, that does not work. That's not going to work. If all we have to do is empty our bladder, that might work. But anything else? No, it's not going to work. And we sat there and we had a legitimate discussion about that until he finally saw where I was coming from. And he was like, I get it. But because of that interaction, every time I have to go, I think about that conversation. And I don't reach out to him as much as I should since I moved to Hampton, because we used to talk like every day. And so it was interesting because this morning he was one of the people that I needed to reach out to. And I did. I followed my instinct and I did my paperwork and my instinct. And I did that. Okay, so now we move on to M. And I have a little bit of suggestions for you. I am very much into one of the things that I want to do next year. One of the challenges that I want to do is make blankets, for those of us who like blankets, that are inspired by movies. So I looked up 5 movies that feature crochet. And you have, in 1939, of course, Gone with the Wind. In 1940, The Letter. I did not write the date down for The Breakfast Club. I'm sorry. Excuse me. In 1994, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And in 2000, Almost Famous. I will write those in the community post if you're interested in checking those movies out. Um, I have seen 3 of those. I've not seen The Letter or almost famous. But I have seen Gone with the Wind, Ace Ventura Detective, and The Breakfast Club. And there are some pieces in there. And, later on, I will look at more things and see what we can do about coming up with some more crochet inspired things, even if it's just colors or words that were said. Sometimes I see that happening. I will look at gymnastics and they'll say something about a triple and I think of the treble crochet or a half double something, flip or whatever, and I'm like, oh, half double crochet. So sometimes we can even be inspired by words. Okay, the next letter that I have is Q. I don't have anything under N, O, or P, but I do have Q. Two things. We have like I said, the Podversary coming up, celebration on the 25th of April. And what I would like from you all, any questions that you have, please post them in the community post or my email. And my email, I write everywhere. You can find them. I'm going to try to make my fingers small enough to put them here. There we go. And it's, you know what? StreamYard is not very friendly. I don't know if that got up there or not. There it is. It did. Yay. Go me. That is my email address. If you have any questions at all that you want to ask me, please email me or put it in the community post. And those questions will be addressed. I will try to do all of them if I can. And they will be addressed on the 25th. So that's something that we have to look forward to. The other cue that I have for the day is the quote of the day. And I hope you all love this as much as I did. It is by Clint Eastwood, and it simply says, "You can't stop everything from happening." That one punched me in the face. I'm the fixer. I think I can fix everything. I think I can stop accidents from happening, stop stupidity from happening, stop a lot of things. So when I read it, I was like, okay, Mr. Eastwood, I hear you. I hear you. The community post is on my page in YouTube. You'll see where the emblem should have like 3 or 4 little people. If you press that, it says community post, and you can put posts there. If you want to put pictures of your works, um, those types of things can be done there. But Joan, you know how to reach me, and you know if you have any questions, how you can get through to me. And then those of you who are with me on Facebook, yes, you can use Messenger as well. Those of you who have my number, you can text me, you can call me. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Okay, so now on to letter R. Reset and redo. I tell you guys all the time, you can start over in the next breath. You can start over in the very next breath. If it's like me, the diet thing that you're working on, or the losing weight, not the diet, but the losing weight, and the scale is not saying what you want it to say this week, I'm not going to wait until May 1st to start over. I'm not going to wait until Sunday because it's Tuesday. If I'm serious about it, I can start right now. Okay, I had a banana for breakfast. I eat again at lunchtime. And then after lunch, I won't eat again until, but I have to eat small meals frequently because my metabolism will bottom out. My metabolism will say, fine, you don't want to feed me, I'm not working. You're not giving me kibbles and expecting a bit from me. That's not going to work. So, yeah, to keep my metabolism moving smoothly, I have to do little small meals throughout the day. But I have to remember to do that because I'm not hungry all the time. So I won't eat. And then it's like everything I eat decides is I'll stick around for a while. So keeping that in mind, I have to do accordingly. But like I said, we can reset at any given time if we're crocheting and we notice that we've made, and I'm not talking about the little bitty mistakes. I'm not talking about the split yarn here, and that's the only one in the whole project. I know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying like I had done with the previous stitcher hook blanket. When I realized they would come, it started out like this. I don't know which hook I used next, but it came in. And then I went with the prim and it went way out and it was steady going out. That's not acceptable. Redo it. Redo it. I had to push the reset button and redo it. And I'm so happy with how the ends are coming out now. There's a lesson in each one of our challenges, um, our screw ups, our mistakes. There are lessons to be learned from those, and it's up to us to figure out what that lesson is and to get the lesson out of them. So that's how we move forward. And then, of course, as stay vigilant. And my therapist loved this one. So y'all got to like it at least. Stay vigilant, but know when it's time to step aside. Stay vigilant, but know when it's time to step aside. I was going to continue with that prim book. Somehow or another, I figured if I put a border on it, it'll make it better. And when I looked at how out of control it was getting, I had to step back. No, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. Did I take it out and put it away? No. I took it out and busted my buns to get as far as I got. And I'm going to continue to bust my buns to get even further. So, yes, I knew when to step aside, but at the same time, I remain vigilant. I'm on it. It's going to get done. And above all things, which is our last alphabet for the day, the letter T, take your time. Take your time. If you're like me, you're not racing anybody but yourself. Take your time. If I had taken my time from the very beginning and took those extra moments to hold it up and look at it to check my work as I was going along, I wouldn't have gotten halfway through only to realize that I had to frog it all the way back. So take your time. I'm not saying get somewhere and pitch a tent and stay there, but take those extra few seconds and go back and look. If you're doing a big blanket and you know that it's 175 stitches across, I'm sorry, that maybe every third or fourth row you can count to make sure that it's within control. And if you want to use the stitch marker to do it, say every fourth row, you count. Okay. I forgot how many stitches I said. How many did I say? We'll say 175 now, just for so you count 175 and you do that for that row, put a stitch marker at the end of that row. For me, I would probably use something like pink. But that way I know that that stitch marker is for counting. How'd I come up with pink? I don't really care for the color. I don't care for going back counting each one of those stitches either. So use the pink, mark that row off, and then maybe 3, 4 rows above that as I'm crocheting it. Make sure that row has 175. If not, and you have to frog it back, you only have to frog it back 3, maybe 4 rows, as opposed to way back to where you may have added or dropped the stitch much earlier. What were you saying? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Please forgive me. Lori, and I know you know because I've seen you go through this process of having to redo. It's like something in your brain clicks. And whereas you made mistakes before, everything almost fixes itself. It's like it just all comes together. And, like I was saying, the little extra time, and like you said, the little extra time when you just stop and check it out every now and then. And it seems arduous, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. So I told you all that we had a lot to do. We have successfully gone through our two, you might as well say 2.5 pages, because I had to go back a little bit. Um, but yeah, that is what we had for today. I'm excited. I am going to do this out to round 10 because I'm switching colors after that. But I have to write it down in my book first. I have to write it down in the book so that I know, keep my little notes on what I'm doing with this. And that way, when I put it up and have to pull it out later, I know exactly what I'm doing. This little book has been so handy. I did not write anything down for the baby hats that I'm making because that's Juan's pattern. And I didn't want to, even though I would put it down in here that it's his pattern, I might jot something down, say something about the baby hat. And but it's so easy to remember. It's super easy to remember. So I did not write that down, but I did write down the 100 squares. I'm going to write this one down. I did the hat that I made last night. The squares that I create, they're going to go in here. It is a form of a journal. It is a form of a journal, but that's what journals are. It just helps you keep up with things. And as we season, we forget a lot of things. We forget a lot of things. But see, it says project planner, journal, journal. You know, it's when you write down your little notes about things. Like here, I realized after I wrote everything out, I didn't put which hook I used. I said needle. Lord have mercy. Am I sleepy? No. Okay, you don't have to be seasoning. And you don't have to ever get seasoned either. But your brain, at a certain point in your life, is not going to function at the same capacity it did when you were 16. But I had to go back and write up top that I used the Susan Bates 6.0. So I know if I pick this up and do it again, and this is running two together, I made sure I wrote down there what I used. This is larger than your typical bucket hat because of the fact that I ran two strands together. But and I made it like I would make a regular bucket hat. But I did that because all us up in here got noggins. We got big heads. I couldn't send that hat to Lori. Lori, bless her heart, would get lost in that hat. She would. She would. But my mama had a little head. Okay, Joe. Yeah, my mama had a little bitty head. Oh, and that's something else that I wanted to tell you all. My thumbnails. Okay. Whew, I think that happened the last time we talked. Can you all hear me okay? Because my headphones decided to say bye bye. My thumbnails are going to feature things uh from my past. The one that you saw today are my mother sitting in front, me to the left of my youngest daughter standing behind my mother, and my oldest daughter standing to the right of my mother, looking at the picture. So yeah. But if you turn it around and you're sitting in I'm on my mama's right hand side. I'm her right hand girl. My mother always bragged about her girls, her girls. And at one point, my biological son felt some sort of way about it. He was like, she's always talking about her girls, her girls. I said, because my mom wanted four boys. My mom wanted four boys. And when my twin sister was born, knowing she had twins, she was hoping for a girl and a boy. They didn't. They used barbaric methods to find out if you were having a girl or a boy back then. Remember, I was born in '63. They didn't have the today's ultrasound where they could see all of that. So my mom was still hoping for a girl and a boy. And then when I came out a girl, she was like, okay, she wasn't disappointed, but the determination was made. Two girls, two strikes. That was it for her. It was there was no more. And then the fact that I had to be delivered by cesarean, she was over it. she was not going that route again. But this girl was athletic. This girl was loud. I had a phone call conversation last night, and it was a young lady that I went to high school with. As a matter of fact, we started out in nursery school together. But I was talking to her, and we were talking about some times in our adult lives. Well, no, actually, we were talking about something that happened to me when I was in middle school / pre-high school. It'll all come together in a minute. Just bear with me. Um, a young lady started an altercation with me, and I refused to fight back. I wasn't going to argue with her, nothing. And it went on for a week and 2 days. And finally, at the end of that 9-day period, she got in my face, and I was tired of it. And I ended up yelling at her. And everybody in the hallway got quiet, and everybody's looking around and they're like, because no one had ever heard me yell before. And I was telling Dee when I was talking to her last night, I said, you remember how everybody used to give me grief in high school because I was the loudest cheerleader. You could hear me over the fans and everything. Y'all, I got some strong lungs. I got some strong lungs. If y'all could see me and I could see everything up here, I could stand across the parking lot and do this with y'all, and you would hear me. I may have asthma, but I got some strong lungs, powerful lungs. What ended up happening is that I had to defend myself. And the portion of the people who saw this happen, all of us went to the principal. The young lady was suspended, but her father had a lot of financial influence in the city, and he refused to let her come back to school as long as I was there. He took it before the school board, and I got expelled from school. I got expelled from Portsmouth schools for defending myself. Everybody was in agreement that I was defending myself, but his money made things happen. So she got to stay at the middle school. And fortunately, my mom taught at a high school in Suffolk that started with eighth graders, and I was in the eighth grade. So I went into Fettermore hood because I'm defending myself. But guys, you know that I love each and every one of you, and I always leave you with love yourselves. Self love is the greatest love of all, and you cannot love others the way they deserve to be loved unless you first love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And you deserve the best. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.